Chapter 6. Awake. When she woke, the first thing she noticed was that she was not where she belonged. She lay in a bed that was far too soft, wrapped in blankets that smelled faintly of lavender and wood smoke. Her body too small, too fragile ached in unfamiliar ways. The room around her was warm and bright, with sunlight spilling through a curtained window. A wash basin stood on a nearby table, and a wooden chest rested at the foot of the bed. Everything looked ordinary and completely unknown. Her heart began to race. She sat up slowly, instinct urging caution. Something inside her, it didn't have words. Only urgency told her this place was not safe. She didn't remember where she was supposed to be, only that this wasn't it. Footsteps. Her breath caught as the door creaked open and a woman stepped into the room. She was middle-aged, dressed in plain brown fabric with her graying hair pulled into a bun. She carried a wooden tray with steam rising from it. She tensed, pulling the quilt closer. Who is she? Why am I here? The woman smiled, not too wide, not falsely cheerful. Hello, she said gently. I see you're awake. The voice was like warm honey soft, even neither probing nor condescending. The woman set the tray on the edge of the bed and crouched a little, keeping her hands visible as though she sensed Rose's tension. I brought you some food, she continued, and I'll fill the bath for you if you'd like. We did our best to clean you, and I replaced your dress. It was torn up something fierce. She stared at her. She felt words on the tip of her tongue, but they came slowly. Where am I? What happened? The woman paused. We were hoping you could tell us. A man named Richard found you passed out in the rose bushes on Mr. Cartwright's land. You were alone and unconscious. He brought you here, to his house. The doctor said you took a blow to the head and might sleep for a day or two. She touched her scalp reflexively. There was a tender lump there. If you can tell me your name or where you're from, the woman added, we can send word to your people. She opened her mouth. Nothing came out. I don't remember. Her voice cracked. Not my name. Not anything. Her throat tightened. Panic stirred again, this time from the inside. It curled behind her ribs, ready to claw its way out, but the woman didn't crowd her. She didn't rush to console her either. Instead, she straightened and spoke plainly. Honey, the doctor said this might happen. You took a hard knock. Memory loss can come with that, but it might come back too. Try to eat. I'll get the bath ready. And with that, she left. She blinked, her panic diffusing just slightly in the woman's calm wake. There was something about her unfussy solid that made it easier to breathe. She looked down at the tray. A plate of eggs, bacon, a slice of bread, and a glass of something bright orange. She stared at the fork for a moment, uncertain, and then fumbled it in her grip before correcting herself. Of course I know how to use this, she thought, though her hand said otherwise. The food was delicious. Salty, warm, slightly greasy, it awakened a hunger she hadn't realized she had. She devoured it with a strange mix of relief and ravenous urgency, pausing only when her fingers got sticky and she had to inspect the napkin to understand its purpose. After a few minutes, the woman returned, lifting the tray with ease and nodding toward the bath in the corner. Steam rose from the water. I leave you to it. There's a towel there, and I brought one of my dresses for you. I'm Marie, by the way. I live next door. Thank you, Rose murmured, uncertain. Marie offered a kind smile. Richard will be glad to know you're up. He's out with the animals. He stayed by you yesterday in case you woke. And then she was gone again. Rose stared at the water. Tentatively, she slid out of the bed and approached the tub. The first step made her wobble. Her balance was wrong. Her legs too narrow. Her feet sensitive against the wooden floor. She reached the tub and dipped her hand in the water, startled by how hot it felt, how good. She undressed slowly, clumsily, unsure where to put her elbows, her arms folding awkwardly. She stepped into the bath and sank down with a soft sigh. It felt divine, as though her whole body was exhaling for the first time. She ran a hand over her shoulder, marveling at the softness of her skin. Have I never bathed before? A memory stirred, but not a good one. Her chest clenched. In an instant, she was running. Darkness, trees, the crush of fear so intense she couldn't breathe. She screamed and bolted upright in the tub, water sloshing over the sides. The door banged open. Marie stood there, alarmed. Are you all right? I think I remembered something, Rose panted. Just a flash. Running. I was terrified. I don't know from what. Marie approached slowly, careful not to startle her. That's actually a good sign. Memories might come back in pieces. Let's get you out of the water and into some clean clothes. Still trembling, she let Marie help her. The towel was rough but warm, the dress simple and worn but clean. She looked down at herself, this strange, pale, soft-skinned body, and felt a ripple of unfamiliarity. She didn't belong in this skin. And yet it moved when she moved. Once dressed, Marie handed her a comb. Rose studied it before slowly dragging it through her damp hair, marveling at the sensation. Marie smiled. You'll feel better once you've eaten and gotten some air. As if on cue, the front door opened and a voice called Marie. You in here? It was a man's voice, rough, warm, vaguely familiar in a way that tugged something inside her. In here, Richard, Marie called. A moment later, he stepped into the room. Tall, broad, weather-worn. His eyes were a clear, cold blue. He paused when he saw her. Oh, hello, Rose. She blinked. Rose? He looked sheepish. You didn't have a name, and I found you in the rose bush. It just fit. I still don't remember, she said softly. Marie stood, brushing her hands on her skirt. She's eaten, bathed, and had her first flash of memory. I'd say that's good progress. I'll let you take it from here. I've got chickens to wrangle. She gave Rose one last warm nod and disappeared out the door. Richard stepped closer. Would you like to see the farm? Rose hesitated, then nodded. They walked outside together. The sunlight was blindingly golden. Her bare feet curled into the grass. Birds called from the trees. She squinted at everything, the chickens, the goats, the tall swaying corn, as if seeing it all for the first time. The chickens made her laugh, their movements erratic and ridiculous. She reached out to pet one and jumped back when it pecked at her fingers. Richard chuckled. They're not mean. Just nosy. Everything was fascinating. She paused to sniff flowers, ran her fingers through the tall grass, marveled at the roughness of tree bark. When she saw a pear tree, she stared at it in wonder. These grow like this? He gave her a look. You've really never been on a farm before, huh? I guess not, she said. But the world thrilled her. There was something sacred about the dirt and sky, the cluck of hens, the smell of hay and soil. She felt part of it and apart from it all at once. After a while, her steps grew slower. Her body, still healing, began to sag under the weight of too much wonder. Richard noticed. Let's get you back inside before you drop. She nodded, too tired to argue. As they walked, she leaned against his arm, not because she meant to, but because it felt steady, solid, human, and for now, that was enough.